All right. I have another interview today. I'm Megan. I'm the founder of Hip Stitch Academy, and I am so excited to talk to Jesy Anderson, who is the owner of Needle, Ink, and Thread. And I'm just going to let her tell you a little bit about herself, and then we'll jump into some questions.
I'm Jesy Anderson, like Megan said, owner of Needle, Ink, and Thread. I am located in Beavercreek, Ohio. I am a sewing studio, so I focus more on the sewing education side, more with smaller class size, keeping the quality education with the smaller class size and not trying to fill it so much that we lose some of that. And I do alterations, and soon I have some stuff coming up too, but I can't reveal that yet. So.
Ooh, yes. Exciting. Okay, awesome. So you have a brick and mortar space. It's not necessarily retail.
Right.
It's more studio, so people can come in during retail hours. I guess you have alteration hours. Is that right?
Right. On Tuesdays, that's the only day I'm guaranteed to be in the studio.
Yeah.
From 11 to 6, I take in alterations. If I had it open during the whole week, I couldn't teach. So it was kind of that, how much do I do alterations and how much classes do I want? And really I want to focus on the education side of it. But I like the fact that I can count on the alterations on the slow points and then still make rent. Because that's usually like the rent money I make is my alterations money. And then my take home or, business money is the classes.
Okay. Yeah, that's super smart. Because, are you in a retail location that's has foot traffic? Are you visible on the street?
I'm visible, but foot traffic in my area is kind of non-existent. I am in the suburbs, so I do have the community surrounding me, and I'm actually in a building that has another creative space. It's called Decoy Art, and they're a pottery and art space. So I am it's nice because I'm kind of attached to another outlet, so we can help each other with customers and, cross-promote. But the actual physical location isn't really something that, like in a mall or like in a downtown area, we do have a lot of foot traffic. I'm more of a destination point.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Because, it's funny because that's, I think always a challenge. Like I've been in a storefront situation and then now I'm in a studio space where I'm on the third floor and
Right.
People walk by because they're going to different things, but we're not open. We have some guaranteed hours that we're open, but basically I just promote that we're open when we have classes. So if you want to stop by, it's like, look at our class schedule. So it's always like a funny thing. And when I had a storefront, it was a lot because you wanted to be open because you were visible to the world, but yet you were there, it felt like 14 hours a day because you have classes at night when nobody's going by.
Right. And then you wait for customers to come in.
Yeah.
Sounds like hoping it's a good day, but then sometimes you might have one or two, and then some days you get a huge rush, and you're like, yes.
Right, exactly. So it's always interesting to see how people do it. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. And how long have you been in operation?
For Needle, Ink, and Thread, I opened August 26th. I had my grand opening in September, but I had my first class in the studio space August 26th. Mm-hmm. So I've been open a little bit less than 10 months now. But I was previously a co-owner of another sewing studio that was located in downtown Dayton in the Oregon district called Sew Dayton. And we were in business for almost 4 years. Okay. And we closed August 16th. So a week later, I had the new business up and running so that I could keep that momentum going.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And what made you decide that you wanted to start a sewing business? I know you're later to the game in learning how to sew, right? You learned to sew as an adult.
I did.
So what made you decide to have a business?
Well, I was corporate America before. So for 11 and a half years after I graduated high school in 98, I'm dating myself. In 98, I graduated, and then I worked 2 years for the county. So I worked for the city of Dayton or Montgomery County. Uh-huh. And then I went to a corporate job at a paper company and worked there for 11 and a half years in accounting, logistics, credit collection. So I kind of got the whole gamut of how a big business is run, which actually translated really easily and nicely into Sew Dayton. But in 2011, I was severed from my position because we had a lot of restructuring going on, and I was the only one that didn't have a full college degree.
Okay.
So I was let go. And I used the money from my severance to start an Etsy shop and do craft fairs as J. Kessel Design. Then I got engaged, and I met my previous business partner, Tracy McElfresh, and she has a new studio called Tracy Sewing Studio, and she's actually in Kettering, Ohio. And I met her. She asked me if I wanted to do business with her because she made my wedding dress, and we hit it off. We got along really well. And then that was in April of 2012, and then September 2012, we had Sew Dayton. So that's really how I got into it, and I started sewing in 2010.
Okay.
So pretty much not even 2 years later. Just
are you self-taught? So
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do it classes, or did you do YouTube videos, or how did you, or just started sewing on your own?
My stepdaughter was about 4 at this time, and it was when, the pants had the writing across the butt for kids. It would say juicy or pink. You remember those? They get, yeah. And I thought it was really inappropriate for a 4-year-old to have the word juicy across her butt. So I wanted to start sewing for clothes. And I was going through Etsy, and I saw some clothes, and I was like, man, $50 for a dress? That's ridiculous. Well, I started sewing, and I realized very quickly, $50 for a dress is a really good deal. So that's what sparked my interest in it, was for my daughter. But then I'm one of those people, I would love to try everything, and I failed home ec in high school.
Interesting.
I never backstitched anything, so my thing fell apart. My contract fell apart.
That's the reason that you failed. I would have totally failed too. I'm the worst. Oh, yep. That's hilarious.
So, and my husband's always like, you don't tell people that, do you? Well, yeah, because it's a good story, because it means, maybe you didn't like it one time, but hey, try it again, and maybe you'll love it, and you'll succeed. So that was kind of the reason and how I just did a lot of mommy blogs. I was going through, Kate Sews, and the Lemon Squeezy. I don't even know if those ones are around anymore. A Simply Modern Mom, and all of them were kind of getting into sewing at that point. I just followed tutorials and made a ton of mistakes and just kept at it. So
great. Awesome. I kind of did a similar thing, because I had learned to sew as a kid, and then kind of did it because I was in 4-H and we had projects, and then didn't do it in high school, didn't do it in college at all, and then picked it back up. And it was just I kind of took my mom's sewing machine, and it was trial and error. And it was, like you said, so many mistakes. There were days when I just wanted to throw my sewing machine out the window because I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And it's just funny because now teaching people, it's it would have been so easier, even just to have an hour long, here's what you should do, here's what you shouldn't do, here's the problem with this.
Right.
But, some of us self-starters are just I'm going to teach myself.
And here, there really wasn't anywhere to take classes.
Yeah. Same with me.
Exactly. Sewing just was so far out of reach for everybody in the early, I guess this was 2010. So, only 7 years ago, but it's come such a long way since I even started doing it, that there just really wasn't any place except for Joann's, maybe, to get classes. But I work corporate, so I could never take the 2 o'clock class, or the weekend class was at 8 a.m. and I got up all week at 6 to go to work. So I would get up at 8 a.m. on a Sunday or a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, and that just goes to show too, there's a place in the market for, our businesses teaching people how to sew. So yeah, smart. Okay. Okay. What would you say are some important skills needed to be an entrepreneur?
Patience. Patience is a good one. Oh, there's my kitty. Patience is a great one. I would say focus is definitely another one. And just drive. You have to have passion for it. If it's something you're not passionate about, if it's something you just want to make money on, you're going to be more willing to take the time and extra time if it's something you really love.
Yeah.
It's going to mean more. But if it's just a moneymaker, I mean, granted, money can drive people, but I think it's a short drive. It's not a long-term drive.
Yeah. Okay.
So definitely passion.
Yes. And what makes you inspired? What motivates you and keeps you passionate about what you're doing?
My students. It's definitely my students. Watching them, you know, I have some that come weekly, I have some that come every 2 weeks. I have ones that just, you know, come randomly. But watching them succeed in a project and just how they light up at the end, you're so excited. Like, I don't have to sew because of that, because I kind of get my good feeling from them, you know. Granted, I still want to sew. I just don't get the time to do it as much as I want to. But their success is my success. Yeah. And that's really what drives me, makes me passionate about it. It's my students, you know, because you're giving them a skill that they can use, you know, and if they ever have no job, they can still make money on the side by hemming pants. And, you know, you're giving them a tool that we don't really have in this society anymore.
Right. So. Yeah. How many times do people come in, like if their kid is learning how to sew, or even if they're learning how to sew, it's like, I feel like they're always like, yeah, it skipped a generation, you know, in my family. And if I had a nickel for every time somebody said that, and it's like, well, it's because people just got away from sewing. It was like, why sew when you've got Old Navy and Gap cranking out these things and you can just go out and buy it, you know, the disposable clothing or whatever. And it's nice to see that, you know, despite that, it's coming back and people are learning how to sew. So yeah, it's exciting, right?
Definitely. There's my dog. She decided to come in too.
Oh, I've got one cat behind me. There's always like there we go. There's like
there's always critters. There's 2 more running around here. We have 2 dogs and 2 cats. So.
Yeah, we've got to have companions when we work from home sometimes, right?
Definitely.
Can you bring your dog to your studio?
I would, but this one's a Shar-Pei Beagle mix, and if she's in the car for too long, she gets sick.
Oh, okay. And
you can probably hear the high-pitched whine right now because she's the Beagle, so she does that when she's like not getting attention. She just does this really.
Yeah.
And then my Emma dog, she's a Staffordshire mix pit bull, which I would totally take her to the shop if she's only 3. Yeah. So she's still very jumpy and rambunctious.
Yeah.
I would love to take them though.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well.
That's my dream. It's like I got my dog almost 10 years ago, and it was like, oh, I'll have a shop dog. And it's like, no. Because I have a pit bull mix, and, you know, he's just super territorial. Like, he thinks he's there to, like, protect me. And, like, if someone were to walk in, he wouldn't, like, attack them or anything, but he would be barky and dominant. And but
some people that aren't dog people are.
Exactly.
And they get a little taken back, even though you know their dog's not going to hurt them.
Yeah. Yeah. No matter what kind of dog you have, there are just some people who are just so afraid of dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about employees. Do you have any employees that work for you and teach for you and do other things, help you with alterations?
At this time, I just have guest teachers, so I guess that would be employees or contractors.
Right, totally.
Because I'm not the expert on everything. As much as I want to be, I can't be.
Yeah.
So I do have guest teachers come in, like for needle felting, 3D needle felting.
Okay.
And then I have this awesome lady, Tess Cortez, coming in soon. She's focused in e-textiles. So she does conductive thread and LEDs and sews those into garments, which makes the garments light up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And for boys, that's perfect because, you know, boys don't tend to want to come to classes that are, you know, because classes are way easier for girls because you can throw the furrows out on the girls' stuff.
Yeah, the projects tend to be a little bit more, kind of focused.
So this one is one that I was super excited for because they're making like wrist cuffs.
Yep.
So almost like they can make Wonder Woman or Spider-Man, and then, you know, once it closes, it lights up. So once you make the connection with the 2 parts of the back, it makes all of the lighting or turn on.
Yeah.
So I do bring from the community, and I try to support other local artists and seamsters and, you know, textile that I can't do.
Yeah.
they can do, and maybe they have never taught before. Like my sister does soaps. So sometimes I have her come in, and she does like bath and body at the studio too. So
oh wow, so you're really well-rounded. It's not
so just creative. It's not necessarily sewing. It's sewing specific, but then it kind of has its tentacles out for other stuff.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay, I want to hear more about that, the LED class, because it's something that people have requested, and I don't have a lot of guest teachers, and maybe I should. It's a part of my business that I haven't like kind of got out, and I feel like because I'm so close to New York, there's a lot going on in New York that I just, for me to keep doing what I'm doing and what works, it's been really, good. But yeah, the LED sounds so much fun in the glove, because even I've ordered the thread, and you can like turn any pair of glove into like being able to do it on your phone, right?
Right. Yeah.
Stitch it a little bit into the fingers.
Yep.
Yeah, someday I'll get around to doing that.
And the brand, I don't know if you want brands on here, but LilyPad is a company that makes a lot of like the conductive thread, and you can buy it on Amazon. Yeah. And they actually have kits where you can buy the whole kit and then use that to put into something. I know they have like monster kits where it lights up the eyeballs. And, oh yeah. Like
because that makes it really easy for a class too, right? I guess
right.
You can definitely the kit and then have that be a supply cost or whatever, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Good idea. All right. So I guess, partnerships and employees and, contracted people that you work with have been a part of your business.
Right.
And yeah, okay. So not necessarily like people that you hire, it's more just like partnerships, I guess, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What's your favorite thing about working for yourself?
The flexibility.
Yeah.
I get more time with my family. Since I didn't do the retail side, I do the one day I'm always there, but everything else is by appointment. So if I have a day I don't have any classes scheduled, I usually take the morning time to, still do work, website, class listings, all that stuff. And then I get to spend more time with my stepdaughter and my husband. And it's been the last 9 months has probably been the most that we've gotten to spend together since I was laid off. So it's giving me that balance that I needed to not be burnt out.
And working all the time. Yeah. Because that's the thing, I think with entrepreneurs, it's like, especially at first, it's like you got to work your butt off. And then you're like, okay, I supposedly have this flexibility, but like not really, because I'm working all the time. So that's great that you figured out so quickly kind of how to have that in your new, sort of new business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important, right?
Definitely. Self-care is good.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you think is the hardest part of having your own business?
I'm a people pleaser. So it's hard for me to say no. And even when times that I'm like, I'm going to say no to that. And then I get face to face with somebody. And, most of the times it's alterations.
I was just going to say, it's like, is it the alterations?
It is.
I admire you so much doing alterations. That is hard.
I don't take like everything. I have a very limited, because of my time frame, I do hemming, mending, buttons, I'll take in, let out, and I do formal wear too. I'll do suits, but I won't do any cuffs on the suits or anything with the shoulders on suits. Like I tell them to go to tailors for that.
Yeah.
But there's such a need for that because not a lot of people, because of how much is expected, I guess is the right word. Or when people think you sew or know you sew, they think you can do like everything.
Right.
And don't realize it's kind of, when you pick a sewing path, you kind of pick the path.
Right.
You can branch out to all those different paths, but you pretty much say, okay, I'm a garment sewer, I'm a quilter, I'm a home decor, but you're not necessarily all of those and an expert at all of those. So that's probably the hardest part is, like prom. I had a girl come in Tuesday, prom Sunday or Saturday. She wanted a slit in her dress. So, yeah. So I was like, I looked at it and it was like a jersey knit, like scuba knit. So I knew it was going to be super easy to make the slit.
Yeah.
And I just was like 25 plus a 50% upcharge, $37.50. And she was like, okay. But,
No, and that can be hard because you're like, there's a lot of stuff around money and kind of asking for what you believe you deserve to do something. And alterations is something that comes out a lot because I used to do alterations. And it's funny, I literally just say no to everything now because I can't, it's like, I just don't have the time. And I wasn't good at estimating how long it would take. And 4 hours would pass and it's like, it just never felt like, oh, is that really worth it? But if you're really conscientious about knowing how long something's going to take and then asking for a bit more because you have a skill that people don't have, and that's the part that I think people don't realize. Even people who come to a hem class, they're like, oh, I can't, I ask everybody, why'd you come to class? Well, I came to class because I want to learn how to hem my own pants because the tailor that I go to charges too much money.
And it's usually like $15.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and you're like, what? And then it's nice to see them realize they learn how to hem, but then they also realize what it is this tailor is doing for them. It's not just like a simple thing. It takes some time. It takes some skill. They have a lot of practice. It's lovely to kind of see the value in what you do with alterations. So good for you. I love it.
Yeah, doing them at So Dayton made it very easy because we learned there, and then now I learned what I did not want to take. And with that kind of stuff, I definitely don't take things I know I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So, I always refer them to another tailor or another alteration shop.
So you have someone that you can kind of go to for the things around you. That's good.
Yeah, because I don't want to leave them in the lurch, but
right.
I don't want to do some of those things either.
Yeah.
I don't have the time since I want to focus on the education side. And I just kind of explain that to them. Or when they're like, hey, why aren't you open more than one day for well, if I'm open doing these, I can't be doing this. And this is really what I want to do. So.
Oh, I love that you explain it too. Sometimes I'm just sort of like, really? Do I have to explain why I do?
Like I said, I'm a people pleaser. So.
You're just a lovely person. I love that. Oh, all right. What else here? I guess, not to focus on mistakes, but is there something that you've done in your business that you were like, ugh, I shouldn't have done that, but you learned something from it? Is there something that comes to mind?
I would say not in this particular new business, but it's So Dayton retail.
Yeah.
Definitely retail. That's why I cut it out and didn't have it this time.
Yeah.
Because like we said earlier, you're sitting there and you're waiting for people to come to you, even though you put all this stuff out there, but just the time that you're sitting there may, you could be spending time with your family, or you could be, doing a custom order or teaching a class, and you're stuck sitting in a store waiting.
Right, hoping that someone comes in and then actually buys something.
Right.
Yeah, it is. It's a funny thing. And I used to like try to work while I was open during retail. And then that always kind of like, people are just like, they want to be helped. Like if they're there and they want to buy something, it's like they want to be helped. So you need to kind of be on and ready to help them. But at the end of the day, that's unfortunately not going to make your rent. And it's not going to be, it's really hard. It's funny because I've seen a lot of businesses lately in my area where their retail is a main focus. Businesses that you were like, oh man, they're solid. Like they're good to go. And then they'll close shop. And I think that's what it is, because you're never really done buying either. You're never really like, it's like, okay, I just made a ton of money on fabric and notions or whatever. All that money's just got to go right back into it. You've got to buy more inventory in order to have the selection. So people come in, and it's just this like catch-22, I feel like, of and then you've got Amazon breathing down your neck, where someone can just literally go online, have it the next day or 2 days later, anything they could ever possibly want, So yeah, it's hard business. So
it is definitely so. And I don't like being a salesperson.
Yeah.
I don't like trying to make people buy things. I'll definitely suggest things to people and get out of there. Sorry. I'll suggest things to people and, like patterns and stuff like that, but I don't really like trying to sell people stuff. It's never been
Yeah.
Something I think that has to do with my people pleasing because I don't want to get into their business with what they want to purchase. And I don't feel like I want to make them have to purchase something maybe not want to purchase. So,
right. Totally. Yeah. Sales is hard.
Yeah.
I
the kind of person that can do with sales.
yeah. And, more power to them. But yeah, definitely just not my personality either. All right. So what is something, well, you know what, I guess I was going to ask you, like, what's something that, you're excited about that's coming up or it's inspiring, but I know that you're going to Quilt Market, next week, right?
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about that? And you go pretty often. If you want to talk about why you feel like it's, like the thing you do?
So Spring Market's coming up next week, and that's May 17th through the 21st. And actually, I think it's like May 18th through the 20th. So Spring Market's only 2 days, and it's a Friday, Saturday. The first year I went was 2015, and I had always wanted to go to market. I saw people's pictures, and we were so dating. I was like, man, one day I would get there. And I took a trip to Pink Castle Fabrics in Ann Arbor, and saw my friend Brenda, who I've known since the early 2000s. She used to live in Columbus, so went and visited. Nice. I'm a tuxedo kitty too. I got one right here. And she was telling me when we went and visited, my husband and I drove up for the day because it's only 3 hours away.
Okay.
And,
it's in Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I'd never been to Ann Arbor. It's a gorgeous town. And we were talking about market. She just kept saying, hey, if you want to come to market, you can be in, you can take one of my rooms at the hotel. I'll let you stay there. And you just need to come. It's like everybody who you admire and you want to meet, and it's great for networking. And at that point, we had the retail side. So I figured might as well see the new fabrics coming out because, as you can tell, I love fabric back here. So I first went in fall of 2015, and I loved it. I mean, everybody there, it's just the energy you get from all the creativeness and the ideas, and you get to meet people that maybe you never thought you were going to meet before because they're bloggers or designers, and you actually get to meet and talk, and they're real people, and they're funny, and you make these connections. And I do it more for the networking side of it, just to put a face to the name, and anytime I can possibly collaborate or help them, maybe make samples for market, or do a guest blog post or something like that. It's better to have that face to face, and the cost is a little high, because Houston, you have to fly, or at least I have to fly into Houston. I know you would have to. And then you've got your rooming and your food and all of that. So it can be expensive, but I found it's definitely, for me, it's worth the investment. I do get a good return just from the connections that I make. And it's my vacation. My husband goes to Florida and plays poker twice a year. I get to go to spring market and fall market and look at pretty fabric and buy stuff. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's just, there's nothing. I mean, you got to go last fall. Was it last fall? Yeah, it was last fall. I mean, just the energy and the amount of people and the fabrics. I mean, it's easy to just want to take everything home with you.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And companies you maybe not knew of before, or a lot of people have kits that are great for classes like ours, and you just get to see that before everybody else, and you might not have seen it online. So it's just a great way to just get in there, and I feel just to meet and see and put the face to the name.
We'll have so much fun. You're staying with a bunch of people in sewing businesses as well. So,
yep.
Yay.
So it's last year we went to Salt Lake City, and we had an Airbnb, and there was 10 of us in the house because it fit 10.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And it was gorgeous. House had a pool, but it was April or May, so it was like super cold in Salt Lake City.
That's true. Okay.
So we didn't get to use the pool, but I mean, doing an Airbnb
summer party, right?
Yeah. Well, everybody else stayed out really late. Me and Sarah Lawson we were the old ladies. We would eat dinner and be like, oh, it's 8:30. Let's go home and watch Quantico. So we'd go back to the room. I'd sit there and do marketing, like read my Tara Swagger book and the Marketing Yourself book. And she would sit there and EPP, and we'd watch Quantico. And, you know, people would, I think we went to bed before people even got home, too.
God, I love it. That's how I would totally be, too. I'm like in bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah. At home, I'm up late, but there, you're running and walking.
It's a lot, too. Yeah. Like, you have that like networking ability, and you know, I've got it to some point, but I'm like very half and half introvert extrovert, and it takes a lot of effort for me to do that. And I think I would just like, I would go and I'd be good for about half the day, and then I would just be like, I'm done.
Yeah. I definitely get that. The first year I got to walk around with Sandy Hazelwood, a crafty planner.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the very first year, because it was her first year of market in 2015, and it was my first year, and we had connected through Instagram and said, hey, are you going? She said, yeah, I'm going. So we kind of used the whole market to walk around together, and she introduced me to a lot of people.
Oh,
I am extroverted, but when I get around people that have the same, you know, sewing and passion and stuff, like introverted, but I get extroverted when I get around people that, you know, but otherwise, I'm like the person in the corner, just kind of figure it out. So,
wow. Yay, I'm excited for you. It's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait to follow all the photos on Instagram while you're there.
There's anything you want, let me know.
Oh.
I'll send it to you.
Awesome. It's just so good for samples too. I remember just like trying to like get ready to fly home and was like, how am I going to get all this stuff home?
First year, my straightening iron got left in the hotel room.
No room.
I wasn't able to bring it home.
No room for the straightening iron.
I was like, I've had this thing for 6 years. I can leave it. I need a new one.
Excuse for a new one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Went home from the airport. I made my husband stop. I was like, we need to stop and get a straightening iron.
Immediately.
Like, it's in the hotel room in Houston.
Great. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Aww. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to answer crazy questions about having your own sewing business.
No problem. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah. Keep in touch.
Definitely.
All right. Bye, Jesy.
Bye.